Hi, people. Hi, I'm gonna be with you in a minute. Hello, everybody. Going to share something for clarity's sake. Many things. It will help. That's the intention, to help many people, many beings. So, I got some great clarity on the Holy Trinity, the meaning and how it is everywhere, and we can see it reflected. And it's also in all things, in everything, in the universe, within everything, in physics, the elements, everything. And this is what Nikola Tesla discovered. He discovered the third element, and that's how he could get free energy. And that's why they said, if you understand, if humans, once we understand the 3, 6, 9, we're looking at the numbers, numerology. It's got nothing to do with the numerology. It's actual existence. It's actual physics. You see, the Holy Trinity. There are three. There's three in everything. Like they discovered gravity, anti-gravity. There's another element. You see. So that's what he discovered in the energy. He discovered that in energy that exists in all, okay, in everything. There are three properties in everything. The Buddhas discovered this. And I'll get into detail on why I'm going to share this. Hi. Yes, light workers especially. This is a great help. This will be a great help for anybody that considers themselves a light worker, awakened person on the awakened path, right? There's a lot of confusion going on at the moment with humanity. They're feeling confused because also they're defining things in a negative way. It's not confusing. Think of yourself as processing. You're looking for clarity. This will give you clarity. And I can also give you a few things to say before you go to sleep tonight, and you'll wake up with the clarity. So before I finish this video, I'll actually assist you with things you can say and intentions you set. So in the morning, you'll wake up with, wow, bingo, clarity, okay. What you seek, you find. So this is going to assist you in many ways, but especially it will clear up the confusion of what you're seeing on the outside and everything. So when you apply this principle, you will understand to everything you are seeing, or that's in your life, or that's, the global story, it will make sense to you, and then you'll be able to make decisions and things with great clarity. Okay, so this will give you huge clarity. All right, it's lovely. So as I said, it is the Holy Trinity, and exactly what it is. So let me go and let me try and explain that. Like as we said, even the church, but we just forgot it over time. We've forgotten what they meant, but we left clues, and there's clues and signals right throughout history for us, right? The pyramids in the shape of a triangle. We just didn't get what the triangle was. The pyramids are in the shape of triangle. There are three pyramids, Trinity. Three, everything exists in threes. That's how they got free energy, for one. They understood that. But it's three. The answer is, it lies in the number 3. So it's the Holy Trinity, right? So there are 3 pyramids. Mind, body, spirit, church. When you do this, mind, the Holy Spirit, mind, body, you do this cross thing, triangular shape. The Holy Trinity. Buddhas discovered it. The balance, when you find the balance between dark and light, the real truth, the real enlightenment is, source is all. The universe is, as I say, source greater, the creator, however you want to see it. All that is, source of all, creator of all, is all that is everything comes from the creator, or from source, however you want to see it, right? Everything, the dark and the light. I mean, if you have done your shadow work and faced your shadows and understand, it's not frightening, understand how, it's actually very simple how it works, because it's just free will and choices. I'll get into a video why this comes up and what the negative and fear means and feelings, and you'll understand them and you won't fear them anymore. But when you get to that, you arrive in the middle. So dark, light, in the middle, balance. The balance, neutrality, when they say rise above it. Even Jesus tried to tell people, right? Turn your cheek 7 times 70. Look the other way. It means rise above it. So when you have got that understanding of the true meaning and existence in the dark and light and whatever it is, you understand how it works, you don't have any fear. You don't judge, you see. You understand all it. It's so simple, you don't feel anything. And then you're able to take that higher road, which is the Holy Trinity. There's got to be a balance. We are in the game of duality. We fell out of balance in all things. Ourselves, everything. Let me try and show. This might sound long-winded, but let me just let it flow, right? There's a reason why it's flowing this way. So as within, so without. Everything that is in your life and existence is a mirror for you. Whether you see it in the astral, whether it's reflected in your friends, your interactions, is a mirror for you to see. If you look at it like that, it's a lesson. What is reflecting to you? What is it trying to tell me? There's a message in everything, everyone's behavior. Okay, so normally it's to show us, where you've got bad habits, attachments, you haven't unhealed, you haven't faced your shadow, your fears, whatever it is. They're going to keep coming up and get more until you do, you see, till you understand what it is. So that is, and now the same with the planet on a collective scale. It's all trying to show us something. All right. It's all out there, and it all has a meaning, and it's out of balance. So at the moment, especially people that call themselves light workers or awakened people are feeling not confused, angry, upset, whatever, just not happy with this whole thing. Because in your heart, right, love, unity. When you wake up, that's what you get to the point. It's supposed to be love, unity. Most people want to find that. They want to have peace, love, and unity. But what you're seeing outside is not reflecting that. If you want to say two sides, they're not two sides. What you're seeing, let's say, on the alternative side and the mainstream side, none of them are really reflecting this. So this is why you feel confusion, out of balance, you're feeling, because there is no balance. The balance is not there from either side. This is why people are feeling confused, because there's clarity. They know something is not sitting, but they're not sure what's going on. We don't know. So they're kind of overlapping, all right? Some of the things you want everybody, when you wake up, wants organic, wants this and that. This side, what you think is the opposite side, are going for that. But it's things just don't tally up there, because it is out of balance. There's control, there's fear, there's all these things. The other side, the same thing. There's hate, judgment, division, blame, blah, 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 blah. This is not in alignment with your higher self, with source, spirit, mind, body, spirit. So they've all got to be in alignment. The body, if you keep the body, which is a temple, for you to communicate with the divine, with all that is, with the outside, this is why you're guided to clean up your diet, to eat lighter, to drink more water, to go organic when you wake up. Why? So you can raise your frequency better. Because if you're sufficiently high, let's just discuss that with the body. I'm going to go over the fundamentals, but I'm going to get into much more detail, people. So you will see what's going on outside, and it'll be like, oh, bingo. All the big issues that are going around the world, causing all the division and disagreement, I'm going to explain them in the Trinity, and you will see it very clearly. Okay, so the body, clean up, detox. You're guided to eat less, eat lighter, eat organic, eat live things, more water, whatever. Why? Because it raises your frequency, because you're mainly water. You see, even the elements represent mind, body, spirit, all the elements, blood, body, earth, whatever. They all represent, okay? So that is why you clean, you go organic, you go detox, you exercise, you do all these things, breathe. Because if you have enough oxygen, you're eating properly, you will raise your frequency, which means you're able to access higher consciousness, higher dimensions, higher frequencies, higher vibrations. By looking after the body, you can raise up more. So you've got to do all those things for the body, right? The mind is the same, balance. Now, when that's out of balance, it's beliefs, negative belief systems. When you haven't faced your shadows or don't understand them, your fear, anxiety, the mind. Okay, those are your belief systems. When it's not in alignment with source, with the divine, with your higher self, you will feel anxiety, anger, fear of those things. Why? Because it's not in balance with your true higher self, your divine, what the divine sees and feels and thinks. So when you drop into anger, hate, judgment, fear, any of those things, all they are is messengers trying to tell you, hey, hello, you're off course again, you see, division, hate. So those feelings, they're just indicators to say you're out of balance. The mind is not in balance with the divine. That's what the Buddhists say. The Buddhists studied the mind, yeah. Yeah, so there's the one thing, okay? Mind, body, spirit. And there we are, spirit. So this is where this is what really the Holy Trinity is, and this is why we left those, or you want to call them. There are signs popping up now. Why do you think those things are becoming quite relevant in this current time? And we're not going to go into time. Let's say there isn't time, because if there, okay, try and get this. There is no such thing as time. Everything happens now, so your power is by being present in the now moment. You know, everyone's trying to tell you being in the body, being present, being out of the mind, out of thoughts. You raise your frequency, vibration. You're in tune with everything, right? So everything happens now. This is why you can experience these, what you call them, past lives, future lives, whatever else, or these different parallel realities. You can actually experience them. It's not like, oh well, you know, there's nothing happening. If it wasn't happening now, if it wasn't there existing, you wouldn't be able to access it. So you might think you're going back in the past. It's just, in our earth game, is to make us look like we've had progress. You know, for us to experience progress or change, we need to have some kind of, so in this game, it plays out in time. It slows down, right? But actually it's all going on now. So this is why you're accessing everything right now, right? So why do you think we are tapping, and there's parallel realities and things coming up into the consciousness? There are different timelines. Okay. There are different timelines forming at the moment. This is why it looks like we'll be confused. It looks like a potpourri mess out there. It's just a mix of all these different, what you think, frequencies and vibrations, timelines. You are seeing it. What people call 5D, 3D, it's actually much more than that. What we've done is we've overlapping a couple of parallel realities at the moment, because we kind of, in our ascension or in our journey of expansion and consciousness, we kind of got a bit sidetracked, but there's no accident here. All right, we kind of went off course. We were going towards a unity. This is why we had the, you know, the whole idea of the United Nations and European Union of forming a unity as humanity. We were evolving, and then we kind of got derailed and started breaking that up again now. And since 2016, we derailed, right? We kind of went away again towards divide and separation and da. So we tapped into, or we overlapped. Because we did that, we've overlapped other parallel realities, and this is what is actually playing out now. You'll see these different agendas, if there's such a thing as time. One is very much of not caring for the planet, of mining, of greed, of, you know, petroleum and all that kind of thing, and whatever. Rich, just take, okay? That timeline, which divide, hate, anger, we don't have to explain it, you can figure it out for yourselves. That's pushing this divide, blame, hate, them, the victim and hate, divide, out of balance, divide, hate, blame, them, the good, the bad, right? Parallel reality. One of them destroys themselves, literally will wipe themselves off the planet. This is one timeline that's going to go off with a bang. So if you look at, that's why it's coming into people's consciousness. If you look at people all of a sudden going around social media, look at the pyramids. They show stories of a nuclear bomb. They're on their tablets, whatever else. Nuclear bombs, you know, people think, what's strange? Was there a nuclear? No, there wasn't a nuclear bomb in our dimension that we played yet in our parallel reality. They left warnings. There's other parallel. We have overlapped other parallel. They've left warnings because they foresaw this. How do you say the future timeline to warn you not to do it? But anyway, we know that we're going to split. Obviously, there's going to be sides. So this is why it's coming into people's consciousness. Oh my gosh, look at the pyramids, all these signs. There was drawings on these rocks of bombs, and isn't that? People thought this has happened. No. Yeah, everything's happening now anyway. You've just tapped in. We've just crossed over into a parallel reality. Why? Because one of them we were overlapping with. There are people in this current reality that are taking that timeline, and they're going to go down that timeline of hate, of division, of blame, of the good guy, the bad guy, blah, blah. They're going to go down that parallel reality, and that's why it's in your consciousness. So if you're resonating with that timeline, you're going to be drawn to that. And it's your higher self trying to say to you, oh, you know, if you're resonating with that, why? If it has any interest or resonance with you, there's a reason why it's resonating with you, because you've got belief systems that are lined up, unfortunately, with a negative timeline. You've got to look at that. Look at what negative beliefs do I have that I'm not tapping in or resonating with that story? If you're resonating with it, you're on that on a similar frequency. So there's one explanation. There's another timeline that's playing out of a destruction of humanity, which Bashar came to explain. Some of our cousins, human cousins, took another parallel reality. This is why we're dropping in, we overlapped with them. The ET agenda, let's say they explain what happened there. Some of them took the other alternative where they didn't value human life, and humans are just, you're seeing it playing out now. Some of those people, there's a timeline there, we've overlapped, that are for, oh, well, the human doesn't matter, the biological human doesn't matter. It's just mind, everything's about mind, about intellect, and about computers, or about technology, drones, and it's just, there we are. Humans are like not good, So it's also, if you understand, it's a reflection. Self-hate, self-loathing. I don't like, so it reflects, I do not like me. I do not value creation because I'm a part of creation. You haven't done the healing. So Source created you. Source didn't thought humans were unworthy. Are you trying to say Source doesn't know what he's doing? So these people have lost their connection with Source, with all the balance. There's a Trinity, the balance with nature. They don't understand. They've lost their connection with Spirit. So all that is, one is all is one. Harmony with all. So they would love themselves and love nature. Anyway, so that timeline is going to destroy itself. So let me explain something. People are seeing what they call now, they're resonating with, what's that? The Tartaria. Why is Tartaria coming to human consciousness all of a sudden? This is coming up. Why? We have people that are very much focused on the weather story, right? Now, that side is also pushing, everyone's trying to trauma bond you, pushing trauma bonding by, oh my gosh, because these people fear, they think humans are terrible, we don't deserve, we aren't to live, and look what we've done to the planet. There's that whole side as well. Same thing. No self-love. It's overdone, it's unbalanced. There's always unbalance here. In all sides, there's imbalance, all these sides. If you see through, understand the Trinity, you can find the balance, and then you can bring yourself back to center again in the Holy Trinity, right? That's why it's called holy, the higher perspective, the higher ground, the higher wisdom, the balance of all, the mind, the body, the heart. You see, the love, it's got to be in balance. When the balance is out, things go wrong. So that story where you're resonating with Tartaria is because that's going to play out another timeline. Because people want to manipulate. The more you try and control and manipulate nature to use against other countries, so they have droughts and famine and whatever you want, manipulate your weather. It's exactly manipulation, trying to control nature. They're trying to control nature. Because it's arrogance, because we can, and we're going to manipulate, same thing anyway. So they'll say these timelines are going to play out because what you're trying to control and don't respect and don't love, you don't see yourself a part of, same sort of thing. There's many timelines overlapping, yeah. They're very similar, people don't realize. So if you're resonating with any of this, oh, the planets are doomed and we're all going to, and that's what people are saying. Why do you think it's in their consciousness? Oh my gosh, humans are going to have to move to another planet because this one's going to be, yeah, they're going to do it. They are resonating with that timeline because they're in that timeline, their beliefs and their whatever, some of them have got belief system, frequency, vibration, beliefs. Your beliefs, no matter how deep they are, many can be hidden under many, will affect your feelings, frequencies and vibrations. That's why you resonate with things. So yes, they will be, and they're going to experience, Earth is going to reject them. You reject Earth, what does she do? Nature, out of balance, rejects you. Everyone has beliefs. Whatever, in something or other. You have a belief that you are human, that you have a past life, that you are identity, whatever it is. You have somewhere you've got, you have to have belief in something. So they're resonating. So look at what you're resonating with. Tartaria, why such interest? Because it's trying to tell you, whoopsie, be careful. Okay, so look at it. These are all timelines these are here as a reflection to show us, oopsie, we're doing something wrong. Okay, control. That whole thing is about control, denial, rejection. You see, trying to control things, control yourself. Are you trying to control other people? Other people's opinions, other sides, whatever. Control. a very element of control, trying to control, and also there's doom, negative thinking, negative, oh my gosh, you know, earth, you see, if you believe also, so yes, at the moment, the collective drop its frequency and vibration, you can drop onto some negative timelines and we can experience a bit, that's why we are, it's all kind of overlapping. We're experiencing a bit of the negative weather and problems because we're dropping onto we're overlapping all these timelines because people believe all the doom and gloom or chaos and prophecies and whatever else. And plus there are too much hate, negativity, drama going on earth. Whatever you are pushing out as humans, you see, chaos inside the humans. What is the moment going on the planet? Feelings of chaos, people are anger, hate, judgment, divide. It's just chaotic, right? What is projected outside? Chaotic. The weather. What is it reflecting? Chaotic weather. What is the human society and planet affecting? There's fighting, there's war, there's blame, there's this, and they bad, he says, look at them, we don't know, chaos, fear, the illness, chaos inside the human mind, out of balance, mind, body, spirit. With each other, we're out of balance. So the weather is reflecting also to control, trying to control and manipulate everyone's showing. So what have you seen outside? Volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, rain, drought, fires. It's like a mix and match. As within, so without. Everything is that. I'm going to get into more detail for you to give you more clarity. Yeah, it's been reflected outside. See, we're out of balance. It's trying to show us we're out of balance. As a society, as humanity, as all the balance is not there. There's a bit of all of this, and it's reflected by nature. The balance is not there. You see, nature's out of balance. We are out of balance. So this Trinity is affected everywhere. Okay. Another reason, this illness. People, you've got to understand. Look at it from a higher perspective. Everything's a divine plan, right? This happened for a reason. Why? To get people to go in and so they would focus. You couldn't run away anymore. You have the time on yourself, reflect, be alone. You're going to go within, question, whatever else, whatever you're trying to avoid, whatever issues you had. People have to face their issues. Reflection, self-reflection, this is why. But notice how it was done. What was the illness? Where did it target? Yeah. What does that symbolize? Air. Everyone knows our planet's toxic, and it's been showing us this, right? We massively polluted the planet. Our air pollution is like no joke. We had serious problems. And people just go look at your own countries and go and see and all the reports and things that we never really went mainstream, but so much. Massive air pollution. Massive. We have a toxic planet. No, long before anyone was spraying anything. This is just a fact. We had massive pollution. Toxic air. And we had illnesses, lung cancers, bad, whatever. But this is why this illness, even if it was created or not, doesn't matter how and who instigated or how it came about, everything happens for a reason. It symbolizes poisoning of the lungs. We're poisoning the lungs of the planet. Our trees are getting funguses and dying and spots and sick, and a lot of these, especially here as well, you get. Why? Same thing. They're trying to show you. Our air is not good to breathe, right? There we are. The food, illnesses went through the roof on the planet, and obesities and autoimmune systems, toxic. We poisoned our food system, and our food system, nature, poisoned the plants, the soil, the this, the that, everything, and pesticides and herbicides and chemicals. And what did it do? You can't, as within, so without. What did it do? Poisoned humanity, killed all your microbiome, all your natural bacteria. You got all these autoimmune diseases and sicknesses. Why? Because that's what it's designed to do, as within, so without. So we poisoned our food started poisoning us. Cancers went through the roof, all these things and sicknesses and illnesses and you've never heard of, and allergies and autoimmune went through the roof. Classic. Water, same story. Our water is full of everything, pollutions and chemicals and whatever. So basically, everything. All right, same thing. Mental health went through the roof. Why? Out of balance. The Trinity wasn't there. Mind, body, spirit. People lost their connection completely from the source, from spirit. Their beliefs, their mind. It was an unimbalanced mind, body, spirit. The mind had too much. Overthinking, control, stress, ego, you know what I mean? You were using the mind, the brain, you know, or you're going to call the mind too much. Thought, thinking, this and that. And everything was about the logical mind, you know what I mean? Intelligence of the mind, or studying, that sort of thing. It was all focused. Look at it. Everything. We would have to agree. It was all there. No high intelligence. Nothing was in balance. So the whole of humanity was completely out of balance with ourselves, because it's reflected outside. We weren't in balance with nature, with our animals. Even they were showing us. They started getting sick and illnesses and diseases and dying. Why? Because we were feeding them what we've been feeding ourselves. And they started getting ill, the same thing. It was so much, but we weren't seeing it. Everything was trying to show us. Everything was reflecting to us, but we were in the mind and not seeing it. Dementia went through the roof. People didn't want to face their truths, their fears. They shut up. So, where goes the mind? Poof. You see, all of these have symbology. All of them have a reason. They all are trying to show humanity something. But we were not paying attention. So the mind, body, spirit, the Trinity, we are imbalance. Now this is what's going on outside as well. There's an imbalance. And this is why people aren't feeling in balance and harmony. Why? Because it isn't there. There's chaos, there's hate, there's judgment, there's blame, there's this and that. When you get into the Holy Trinity, dark, light, balance, in the middle point, source. When you're in balance, when you're in the source, there is none of that. You will find that peace, you find that harmony, because you're not in the side. You understand the dark is what the light is and their purpose. And it's all free will. There's no such thing, because it's just choices. And it comes down to frequency and vibration, beliefs. Oh, beliefs again. If you believe something, oh my God, it comes down to your belief. So all of these things, so when you get a negative belief system, negative belief, negative feelings, what you want to call feelings, are ways, that is actually supposed to be a signal from our higher self to say, ooh, no, what you're thinking there is not true or not right. Have a look at it from a higher perspective, but we didn't understand that. So we're like, you see, whatever. We didn't understand how it actually worked, the system worked, you see. They're just guidance. It's just a guidance. So when it comes up, you say, oh, thank you. Because look at your negative thoughts, beliefs, feelings as signals from your higher self to say, hello, whoopsie. And then if you look at it that and not with fear, you will understand, okay, it's trying to show me something. Same with the astrals. People take everything literally. It's metaphoric. Your brain's they use symbols and stories in a way that so your linear brain can understand. They're trying to show you something. Where your fears are. No, that's not quite right. Why you feel upset. Look at your sadness. Why you get triggered. Everyone knows what shadow work is, right? Same thing. But same with but the thoughts apply to the same thing. You see, it's a choice to choose that thought. When that, say, bad thought comes into your mind, you can say, oh, no, thank you. But if you understand, that's what I'm saying, the Holy Trinity, like the Buddhas do, and don't, same with this, we've got to respect its valid judgments. If those people want to take those timelines, they are very welcome to it. And they are. It's a fact. These timelines are going on. There are many parallel versions of Earth. Their higher selves, if they choose to stay on those, have chosen to experience that for a reason. It'll benefit their evolution of their soul, because they're eternal. We've got to let them. Stop trying to force people and tell them, no, you mustn't do that. You should be doing this, that timeline. Oh, no, that's wrong. You see, that's the same thing, control. If you understand everything's a choice, same with the thought. And if it comes up, same with the thoughts, choose, no thank you. But if you try and reject it, push it away, this is what I've learned. This is what the feelings are, or just also trying to tell you what you call anger, hate, whatever, or darkness, whatever you think, if you think it's there. You try and shut it up, control, I'm going to fight it, whatever else, you're missing the whole point. it will just keep coming and persist or get worse. It doesn't go away. You're actually then attaching yourself to that timeline or to that belief or to that story. You are. You see? So it doesn't matter whether you're fighting a being, a human, or this, that, trying to get your story. Speak your truth, yes. But you didn't have to get it across. If you're trying to force, stop, fight, resist, whatever else, all you're doing is putting more energy into that thing. And so when something comes up, just say, no thanks, I don't choose that. No thank you. I'd rather have, it's the same with the belief. Whatever comes up, don't have, but do not say, oh, that's nonsense, it's not true, because there's true for them. Why are people resonating with certain stories? There's many different belief systems. It's a belief system. It's a negative belief system. They've chosen to buy into that negativity. Oh, the world's coming to an end, or oh, this or that, they're going to be doomed. That's it. And you buy into that story, you are going on that timeline. These are all different, and they're just choices. They're just choices. You can change your thoughts. You can reprogram your mind. People know that. Many affirmations. You can change your thoughts. You can change your beliefs. But you've got to look within. So it's not to resist, not to. So any of these things come up, emotions, feelings, thoughts. Upset comes up, like yesterday. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, oh, it just shows me. Thank you for showing me. I need to release that. It's not my thing to carry. Thank you. Let it go. Same with emotion pops up. It's an emotion. It's based on a belief, feeling, right? So you get a feeling which you don't consider is nice. You don't like to be up. You don't try and you say, ooh, okay, what's that? Sadness. Okay. Where is that? Thank you for showing me. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Why is that? Where does that sadness come from? What am I believing or feeling to feel that? You see, that's a way. Inquire. And it will come to you. Whether it comes in the first day or 3 days, you will get the answer and it will leave. Thank that feeling or that thought for bringing it to your attention, because it's trying to show you, okay, thank you. It's just a feeling. Now you can let it go. Say, thank you for showing me. I understand why you're here. Then that feeling will leave you. If you don't treat it as a negative thing, because nothing is. We didn't understand that. Nothing is. It's only a communication thing. You can choose, if you see it as negative, well, that's the experience you get, you see. You're welcome. So everything you've got to understand, you are attaching the meaning to it. This is why there are many different stories going on the planet, because 2016 we took a bit of a detour. We were all going towards unity, love, peace on the planet. And then we ended up with this whole divide, anti-Europe, Brexit, poof. And we this is how all these timelines merged to one. So we could very clearly see what we were doing, and make choices. This is what you're going to do. If you do this, this is a timeline you're going to go on. Cloned, sort of half human mechanical thing, which most people know as the grey agenda, what happened, and this is why they needed human genetics to correct themselves. Bashar very clearly explains exactly what happened there. That's a timeline, and you can see that we overlapping. You can see that coming from the future to tell us. You can see that timeline. These people are making those choices right now. There are certain people that don't value they don't understand. There is no connection to source, they don't really understand the whole thing as all is one is all over. So they're going to experience it. Source wants to experience it. There we are. There's a reason why they choose that. There's a very good reason why. They're going to choose that timeline and almost disappear the genetic human, the biological human off, and then they have to come down the line here, and as we know, it comes back, it's a loop, and abduct humans to use but that's a choice. So there are people right now, there's a timeline you can choose and follow that is going on. There's another timeline which is, if you want to say, people call it conspiracy timeline. That timeline is much about hate, divide, blame, same repetitive cycle, dark and bad. People haven't found the balance between the dark and light. They don't understand. They're both one. It's a never-ending cycle, battle between the dark and the light. They haven't found the balance, the Holy Trinity. So that leads to destruction. One wants to destroy or eliminate or wipe off others, as within, so without. So what will be the end result of that? Destruction. There we are. And that's, people are seeing it's going around in the pyramids. Ooh, look, was there nuclear destruction of the planet? They wiped them. Yes, yes, yes. There's people that are going to choose that one. You know, same with this, have no respect. We want to keep mining and polluting and petroleum and this and that. And yes, that will play out. And they'll have to leave this planet because it will not be inhabitable and not, you know, this is what they're saying. And they're really foreseeing it. They're tuning it. They're lining up with that timeline. They're going to have no respect for the planet again, greed and, you know, whatever else, and equality. There we are. And then we've got Tartaria, natural Earth's going to reject, you know, and you saw, disappear, society, whatever, yeah. Anyway, these timelines and these things are popping up on our consciousness to show us as a warning. This is why they're coming into the consciousness of the human collective now and being remembered or being shown. It's trying to show you something. If you keep on like this is where humanity, that's a timeline you can go on. Here, you can carry on with your wars and blaming each other and killing each other and who's, you know, and want to annihilate and execute people. There we are. That's a timeline you can go on. Then there's also a paradise. Many of us are seeing this. Many of us want to be the love, peace, unity. It resonates with you, right? There's balance. Understand love and compassion for all. See, love, kindness, compassion for all. Take the higher ground, the neutral point. There is a version of earth paradise. Paradise on earth. Beautiful, clean, you know, that understand we are one with nature. Nature's one with us. Love, everything is connected. We are all one. And they're not trying to take sides. They're trying to unify people. Unity. There is a timeline of unity, love, peace, balance with all. Absolute paradise on earth. There is a timeline with pure paradise. But then it's the balance. You're in unity. You understand the balance between what you want to call dark and light. There's a balance in the middle. There's no, you know, it's just a choice. There's a balance. There we are. There's no fear. And you connect it to everything. And you're not hating and judging one. You have love and compassion, and you know it's choice. That is it, you see. So there's that timeline as well. Now what you're seeing, let me go into a bit more detail so you can maybe see things a bit on the outside, how they're playing out. So people maybe that aren't able to see the reflection that clearly. Hi. Let me break down the reflection. That's very much causing division out there, right? Purposely. So you've got this agenda, the identity thing being played out, right, on the stage. Let's just say the two sides. You've got an identity story going out, right? Male, female. Now it's also going through the light worker community, all right? Feminine, masculine. People are talking about the feminine and masculine balance, right? Is out. Light workers balance the feminine and masculine and whatever else, all this sort of thing. And the whole thing very much around, some people are drawn more to it. There's a reason why you're drawn to it. Pay attention if you're drawn to the feminine, masculine balance or the so-called twin flame thing, whatever, the balance of God, all that sort of thing. Look at you, got it in balance. Goddess, whatever. Balance. There's got to be a balance. This is being reflected. There's an imbalance. This is why it's come up now. There's an imbalance between there's a trinity, remember? Not male and female, there's a trinity. So this is why we have what you want to call identity crises going on. An identity stuff going on. Because there was an imbalance, masculine, alpha male, dominating, wife must be, whatever else. And a lot of countries it's still very imbalanced. There's an imbalance between the masculine and the feminine, deny it or not, in the workplace, in pay, in everything. Same with the identity. This is why it's been pushed up. It's been exaggerated now. Let's say the two sides. The rainbow nation, right? The rainbow flag. So I don't want to insult everyone. I'm just saying there's an identity crisis. I'm male, I'm female, whatever, right? Why? It's because it's showing us we lost our balance. So it's gone to the extreme. It's imbalanced. It's being reflected to you as an imbalance. So females are choosing male to become males. Males are choosing, because it doesn't matter. There is no one is all is one. But there's a balance, there's a trinity, harmony. It doesn't matter. People are free to choose. And if you go into higher societies and think that they actually don't have, a lot of them don't even have, and there's a freedom. And we have to leave people to choose and be who they want to be. It will find its balance. But there was and is an imbalance between the male and female energy in ourselves. Some people don't realize they've got too much masculine. There's an imbalance in themselves, in the masculine side and the feminine side. I was very out of balance with that back in an older timeline. I was out of balance with my masculine and feminine. It's out of balance in society. Very much male-dominated, alpha male, in the military massively, in a lot of places. See, so this is why that has come up to the focus for us to try and see. This is why people are upset. Oh, that's absolutely not, this is a female, that's male, blah, 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 all this nonsense going on. Hate. It's a reflection for us to see. We need to find balance. Okay, all are equally respected, and if everybody respects all equally, and whatever you want to do and believe, the disbalance, the inharmony will fall away. It's to show us we need to bring harmony and balance here. So those beings carnated to show us. See, male into female, female into male, balance. You can change, you can be, you can unite them. It's just a metaphor. People miss the whole thing. So that's not right, whatever. It's an imbalance. And this is why it's become imbalanced, and it's going off in an imbalanced direction, especially on the one timeline, which they're going to, we all know, morph into non-humans. It's imbalanced. When you're not imbalanced, there will be imbalances. And this is just showing people, right? Those are reflections to humanity. Bring your masculine and feminine, which is a lot of domineering control, and it's reflected in your societies, reflected in your governments, the whole domineering thing. Balance, okay. Some countries are very out of balance, very masculine. Yes, sir, no, sir, yes, whatever, and this whole control thing and whatever. Yeah, it's imbalance, okay. That's why that agenda is come up to the surface. Now, let's talk about the financial system. That's come up, or if you want to say collapse, it's everything that is out of balance is being brought to your attention in a massive way that's really out of balance. Now, if we know humans were moaning about inequality for a long time, we had mass riots going around the world, all over the place, and demonstrations after Wall Street was a start to this, to get it to our attention, a 2008 collapse. And what did we see? Even more imbalance. It didn't change. So it got to a head now, and this is why it's all falling, but it's becoming very transparent. So in this, say, fuel crisis that's going on, it's become very clear, the imbalance, even between countries and prices, and how the prices are even thumb-sucked. So it's got nothing to do with the cost of generating petroleum. It's purely all commodities. It's all decided by people, Wall Street, that thumb suck. Oh, this is how much we're going to make the price of oil. Oh, this is how much diamonds are valued at. It has got nothing to do with the actual value of the product. Imbalance. It's not like we're going to make double the profit. We're making whatever, you see. It's trading. It's just commodity. It's commodities market. Commodity set randomly. Well, we're just going to make that price because, there we are. We want to make money. And there's an imbalance. And it's being shown to you so clearly. Greed, imbalance in our financial system is so clear in your face. And this is what they're trying to show you. Why? It's trying to get your attention to address it. It's unfair. It's unequal. Mass wealth, mass poverty, where we got people starving. Source is trying to show you balance. Bring it into harmony. So everything that's out of balance, out of Trinity, is being brought up to humanity to. So you can't say, oh, I made the wrong choices, I didn't know. Well, we all know your soul chooses a path for a reason anyway. You have lessons to learn. So this is why the financial system is going Why? It no longer serves us. It's not in balance. It's not in the highest and greatest good. It's not in the highest representation for a higher frequency, higher consciousness, where there is balance, fairness. See, imbalance in the wealth, money, financial system is representing the imbalance, you see. I don't know. So there we are. Okay. That's what the financial system is trying to represent. The imbalance in the finances in the world. Massive wealth, massive poverty. But you've got to now vote with that and do that. Yes, it's got to be some more fairness. We've got to level up a bit. So that's why the financial system is crumbling. It's trying to show us it no longer serves us. It's not in the highest. It's bringing it to the light. Okay. So you can see. But what it's trying to show you is that there is an imbalance. We've got to level up, and there must be fairness, balance again. Bring the Holy Trinity in to form balance. So that's what it meant. Mind, and people do this, you see. Holy Spirit, mind, body used to do this. Represents triangle, is the Holy Trinity. Right, to have balance, the mind, body, spirit with. Okay, so there we are. That's what the financial system is coming to a head, is trying to show you. And most people aren't, and of course they don't want to. No, it's fine. We can privatize it. We can whatever. See? And one wants is extreme. The other one wants to take everything. The other one wants to do. Got to be is a balance. And some countries have found the balance quite easily. So, but people are, yeah, anyway, people don't want to let go of this capitalism became very unbalanced. So there's a balance in our financial system. Hello, this is why it's going, okay. But it's trying to show you, bring it back to balance, fairness, must be a balance. And if people, here's something I want to tell you, a couple of you might be seeing scales show up in your astrals or thoughts or whatever. People think this is to do with justice. It's not. A lot of these symbols were interpreted when humans were in a lower state of consciousness, right? So they thought the scales meant justice, or there was, I don't know, they used them. For some reason, they used them as a symbol of justice. It's actually not. It's a sign. So if you are seeing this scales and things, people saying, oh, source is bringing justice, the greatest. No, he's trying to show balance. It's a message for you. If you are seeing scales, understand the divine is showing you a message. There's an unbalance in your life. Balance. We need balance. They're trying to show you. Your thoughts or beliefs or something is out of balance. So is the planet out of balance with everything. See, you live in harmony and balance with everything. Everything goes fine. Same with nature. If we live in balance with her, we respect, we don't over-farm, we don't mass produce. We, like the ancients did, we grow our own food, we treat the soil, organically and whatever else. And the insects, the bugs, the this, that, the animals. You see, normally where it's not there, you interact, you let your cow, you go and milk her, set her free in the garden, or wherever she goes and plays off and does her thing. You don't take her babies away, and you don't do this and you don't do that. There's a balance. And we're going to have the dairy, you see. Everything went out of balance. We're out of balance with nature, with the animals, how we treat them, how we mass farm them, the dairies, everything. We take their babies away, and the babies are, given plastic teats and big milk things to feed on. And they're poor, they're fed on things to make them get so much milk they can't walk, they're in so much pain. If you're trying to breastfeed, and a woman will understand that's breastfed. When you have got too much milk and the pain, I've seen cows walking around, they struggle to walk because they've done that. And the feed they give them and everything, they are so much milk they can hardly walk. Their udders are so full. They get cysts and things. That they are, everyone, as I say. And we've bred animals especially to get the most meat out of them. Deformed. They don't even look like to get bigger muscles to eat. It's completely, see. So now understand, same thing. We genetically modified animals so we could get more meat. Just try and get the picture clearly. We modified cattle and animals to get bigger cows, so we could eat more of them. And then what do humans want to do to other humans? Genetically modify them. Do you understand the reflection here? Everything is a, if you understand, everything is trying to show us a lesson, even what you see in astral. When you see your, whatever things you see in your dreams, if you want to call your dreams or fears or your illusions when you first wake up, if you haven't got through all the shadows, they're going to come through. But understand your brain doesn't interpret it the multidimensional like clearly. So it also is going to come through your belief system. So they come through what you would call as angels and things for you to, oh, okay, that's a good, that's, so you understand. You face your fears, your darkness. If you refuse to see your own darkness, well then yeah, anyway. And we all know the same thing with the body, different illnesses, blocks, different energy. Reflects something. You see, where you refuse to see, you refuse to change, inflexibility, all these things are different ailments and pains and injuries in the body reflect different things. You see. But this is why our planet was ill, because we poisoned our food, our animals, our air, everything. So what happened to the humans? Sick, illness, poisons, diseases, big time. The highest you've ever seen. The justice, what you call justice, is not justice. Dark. Take for years an example. Look at America, the highest prison population in the planet, right? The most. But look who's got the most alpha male control thing. Laws, law and order, soldiers. I mean, it's so the whole. I'm not knocking you guys. I'm just telling you, just a reflection. America is massive military, massive police, and you know the whole patriotic and veterans. Very much look at it. Very much about control. Yes, sir, no sir. You know we're all going to be very, very much like that. Who's got the highest crime and the highest jail population in the planet? The more they had rules and regulations and this and that, and I mean, wow, massively in some places, the worse it got. Because the more you try and force or control something, the more, you know, the opposite happens. So the higher crime rates went up. The more they try and force and change it, the actually higher the crime rates went up. The more they try to fight certain things, guess what? That whole thing just got bigger and bigger and bigger. You see, everything's just trying to show you. You can't fight or resist. You draw it to you. The same country that always has the victim mentality, the country that says they've been the most victimized on the planet and whatever, guess what happens to them? They draw aggressors because you are playing a victim. You think you're a victim. You're going to draw people that want to remove you. Because if you believe and have that energy and focus on, well, you're going to draw people that want to play that out. This is why that whole long-lasting story in the Middle East went on for so long. Same thing. You see, it's belief, energy, balance. So there we are. This is as I'm saying, out of balance. And if people understand that, then they have no fear. Yeah, you got to understand that more. Hello, Andrew. Nice to see you, Andrew. I hope all is well with you. So there is the balance. The Creator created all that is, comes from Him. He doesn't hate a part. Nothing is hated, or you would not be here. You wouldn't exist if you were not loved, if you were not valued. You are valued. See, judgment. This is why it says, judge not that you be judged. Very true. You are judging you. You bring it to yourself. And this is why we've got all these overlapping timelines, understand. So now when you see that, a lot of us were upset because there's a lot of nastiness. There's blame and anger and really projection going on out there. A lot of it. It's lowered the collective energy. This is why we're experiencing at the moment a lot more earthquakes and stuff. Why? Have a look on social media. Engage into the energy at the moment. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, anger, hurt, blame, fear. It's just, wow. The collective consciousness, the general people, has dropped more into more negativity, anger, fear, hurt, whatever, all this because of what's been, they're buying into the media. So, there's going to be this shortage, that shortage, whatever problems. This is putting out a lot of fear, a lot of anger by behaviors going on out there. So what we're experiencing on the planet at the moment, a lot more seismic activity. And I'd warned people, if you think negatively and you're pushing up a lot of negative energy, we have an effect on the planet. All is one, one is all. The collective at the moment, energies are so out of whack. it's going to be reflected if you don't raise your frequency again. Stay in pure love. Stay in the Trinity. In the center is the higher point, the higher road. Non-judgment, balance, equality, balance, love. Understand. See, no judgment, no hate. If you stand in that neutral place, you raise your frequency and vibration, you stay in pure love, no judgment, no blame, no hate, no that, because you've done your shadow. You balance energy. At the moment, the energies aren't. So if the collective frequency and vibration and consciousness has lowered the energies, it's going to be reflected outside, which it is. I told people, I warned people, stop buying what, following in the news and watching it and thinking badly and hate and anger and blame and all this nonsense and fear, because it's going to, you see, it's reflected in the energies outside you. So what are you seeing outside? Tornadoes and fire and earthquakes. And if you drop the collective, like Atlantis, they manifested themselves off the planet very badly, because they dropped into the ego, the more and more, and then there was the good and the bad, because they saw some, but instead of staying in the higher ground and staying positive and seeing it, it was like, oh, they're bad, that they dropped into this hate, divide, anger, fear, and bad and good, whatever, and they dropped the entire frequency and vibration of the collective. Dropped enough, they dropped into that time, they manifested themselves off the planet with a massive asteroid. All right, so the collective humanity at the moment, depending on the timelines, we shift as a collective, which we've shifted up quite a bit, but at the moment they tend to have navigated a bit lower down because of what's happening outside with the oil and all kinds of things. People are stirring it up, and it's overall, the humanity, I feel, had dropped a bit, okay? The negative energy is more negative energy being pushed out there, and thoughts and feelings. So if you do that, a lot of us saw natural things on the planet, natural events happening which weren't pleasant. Some we averted because we moved onto different timelines. All right. But if we lower ourselves again, we can lower onto a little bit lower timeline and experience more of unpleasant things happening on the planet. You understand? It's all to do with timelines. The collective, a lot of light workers are also bought into this. A lot of people are doing shadow work too. So a huge amount of this, of people's shadows, quite likely, because this is what it's supposed to do, people aren't seeing it, are being pushed up. But they're not recognizing its shadow. See, how you feeling is a gauge. Have you got blame? Have you got anger? Have you got hate? Have you got this? Have you got fear? Whatever it is, all you're supposed to do is look and ask where it comes from and get rid of it. But it doesn't matter. All is good. All is well. We will just see how it plays out. So this is why at the moment we are experiencing a lot of activity on the planet, which is not good activity. Okay. So don't fear it. Understand this. Understand then you can choose to no, block all of this out, check your frequency and vibration, and consciously put it back into love. I choose love, I choose joy, I choose peace. Focus on that, be that, hold that, think that, say that, sing it, whatever you want to do. You can choose that, stay in it, balance. All right, to raise the collective frequency, vibration, and consciousness, okay? But it's a conscious experience. We're overlapping. Many parallel realities are overlapping. So we're kind of overlapping a couple. So we're going to experience some of those negative things because some of those timelines are extremely negative, right? So we're overlapping because there's a lot of people holding different, as you notice. The timelines are forming. You can see them very clearly. So at the moment, we're at a crossroads. All these different parallel realities, the one that's going to nuke itself off the planet, the one that's going to experience the Tartaria sort of story, and the one that's going to experience paradise, and the one that's going to experience, other things. This non-human, biological end of, half human, half whatever. That also, whatever. They're all, two of them destroy the planet barely, pretty much. Don't love the biological, natural. Anyway, whatever. All right. So this is why. So if we're overlapping so many timelines, we're going to experience a bit of those timelines, all right? But it's also a human choice to choose not to choose the Trinity, to choose the balance, to stay in love, joy, peace, not judgment, not blame, not hate, not fear, not anger, none of those. You can choose your thoughts when it pops in your mind, instead of being fearing it, and no, don't trust it. No, thank you. If you try, because you will be tempted to see if you're going to take the bait. A thought comes into your mind if you start thinking on the negative, and you're going to draw more to you, and then it comes in your mind, you can say, no, thank you. I'm fine. I choose. I am. Thank you for that. Not taking the bait. So you can choose not to fall into the fear. You can choose not to believe what they're telling you. You can choose not to watch it. You see, these are all choices. Many people, we've been telling people. Okay. Faith, belief, love. Anyway, they're all coming up. You're welcome. Yeah, but this is why I saw many things that were going to happen on the planet. And I'm very glad we avoided some big time. Wow, big time. They were on a lower timeline. But after 2020, we sped up so much, 2021 really. The trajectory went so much, we shot up in frequency or consciousness, the human collective, because of the amount of light coming on the planet. Well, that's also affecting it, but people mustn't think that humans are not affecting it. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. We've got massive light coming into the planet, which has sped up the awakening process, or the elevation of consciousness, right? But in the process, when you elevate consciousness, we also have to go through our shadow work. And we can choose to ignore it, to deny our own shadow, to deny our own whatever, because everything you feel inside, everything you see in someone else, you have it in you. You're not seeing the reflection. And then you're like, eh. So this is why. So at the moment in the collective, there's a lot of not such good energy held, right? Because they seem to have lowered, because they're watching too much of what's going on. So this is why. So some, depending on the timelines and how we pick up the energy, frequency, and vibration, consciousness, I choose, we're going to see these things play out, all right? And I see at the moment, I'm like, yeah. Some, thankfully didn't play out, but some things we've seen might play out now. It's a lesson. And let me explain some of these things as well, so you understand what these weather things symbolize, all right? So storms, people's having tornadoes, they're just not getting it. Storms, cyclones, tornadoes, what does it represent? The storm inside you, inner conflict, and with your country. So people whose countries are going to suffer from major, people's countries that will suffer from maybe massive tornadoes or storms, right? It's trying to show you, within you, you have massive turmoil. You're fighting your own darkness, or your own shadows. You're denying your own, traits. You judge, you hate, whatever. You're denying your own darkness. You will have inner turmoil. And the same in your country. You see? Storm. It's the whole, this anger, hate, there's a mess going on. It's reflected. And it's obvious. I've seen some countries. It's being reflected, okay? So that symbolizes this whole, when you feel like inside, emotional turmoil, turmoil, emotional turmoil in you, emotional turmoil outside you, all this kind of thing. So this is really what the storm reflects, okay? The water is is a cleansing, flushing away get rid of your cleansing. The fire, well, that kind of gets to the last resort. What doesn't serve, you can't, if it's not, let's say, the cleansing, if you don't remove it, it is then transformed into new life. So it will burn away. And some countries are going to get all of this because it's reflecting all of this. You see, it symbolizes everything also spiritually what happened on the planet. You see, there we are. Yeah, so it's interesting if you look at them, they have meanings to it. See, some countries have got all kinds of stuff going on there, right? To wash away, to release. It's like cleansing, purifying you, you need to purify, purify your mind, your body, your spirit, whatever. So some people, depending on the energies they're holding in their collective or on their countries, we'll experience some of these things. But also remember, obviously it's going around, it's energy is coming into the planet and it's going in. Earth is doing her purging and her clearing, her transition, and also she's got many timelines and obviously many versions of Earth. So it's hitting the plates. Energy is circles, vibrates like you do, like a torus. Everything goes out like a vortex. This is what's happening too. So when the energy is coming into the planet, depending on our frequency, vibration, and our consciousness, how negative and positive it is, that's what we're going to experience. So at the moment, this is why we're experiencing quite a higher volume of the effect. We've had some big incoming things, but then the energies were a lot better and the consciousness or the negativity was better on the planet, so it didn't have such a negative effect. But at the moment, there's a lot of negativity out there, people's thoughts and feelings and, whatever, and projections. So you can experience that on the outside. So energy is coming in, it goes into the center of the earth, it reverberates out, and it gets spread out. Look, it's like water. Look at the water in a river. It looks for the easiest route to release its energy. It's like your body blocks. So it comes into the planet, it goes through the plates, it's looking for ways, cracks, weaknesses. So whether it comes out in a volcano, doesn't it, whatever, earthquakes. But they have also, like everything has a side effect, everything has consequences. So earthquakes can cause waves, big waves of water that can hit land, you see, things like that. Anyway, there we are. So everything is trying to show us something. All right. Whole idea is us to stay in balance. So with the gender identities thing, stay balanced. No anti this, blame, hate this. See it for what it is. Bring the balance back to the male and female within yourselves and within society, and it will correct itself. Financial, bring the situation back to fairness, to balance. It's in balance, the money, equality, and it will be fine. And it's showing you very clearly how imbalanced it is. If you just thumb suck prices and set them, I mean, diamonds are like crystals, man. They're worth nothing. Tons of this stuff on the planet. No one's ever noticed. No one's really thought about it. And the oil and thing is, well, you see. You can see clearly where the imbalance and unfairness is. Right. So it's for us to bring balance back. Everything. Same with the politics. That's the same thing with the humanity. Divide. Us, them, hate, blame. Just perpetrates more fighting and wars and division. See, stop that. Balance. Even with our politicians, no one's happy. Why? Because there's blame and hate and projections and spewing out and... So half of us don't want to know about it. It's like, no, none of that resonates with me, because it's not. It's because they are wrong and he's this and he's that. It's all, no one's seeing the difference. There's got a balance. But it starts with us, all of us. All right, there we are. Eventually the timelines will split off. This is why it's there. Very clear for us to see. So look at what you're resonating with. What story do you resonate with? Of fear? Oopsie, it's a good sign if you fear it. Your negative belief, change that. If you're resonating with, you're listening to it, you're on that timeline. There's something in you that's in the same frequency and vibration as that. So if it's any dark, spooky nasties, understand you haven't faced your darkness and your shadows. That's why you fear it and you're looking for it on the outside. If you are resonating with Tartaria, have a look at why. What frequency and vibration, and do you want to choose that timeline, and what in you, what you are choosing that timeline, what are you following, what are you believing, what are you that you're resonating with that. Same with the anyway, never mind. Same with the other one that's trying to say that these are, there's a game going on. There's balance. And this is why most people are confused, because one side, they know this is right, but then they don't, the way they're doing it is wrong. Control, manipulation, fear. And they're using the old way of doing things by trying to use fear to get you to choose their side or to blame, you know what I mean? Trauma bonding. They're both sides absolutely using trauma bonding, and people haven't seen that. Oh, there's this going on, which no one even has any clue that it's true, but, never mind. And these are people are behind it. Oh, trauma, and it's very nasty, scary things. Trauma bonding. This side, oh, we're going to, destroy ourselves. Yes, they're going to if they don't stop. And they see that timeline. If you don't stop, we don't come into balance with nature, with harmony, with our food chain, animals, plants, earth, soil, air. So everything, as within, so without. You will see, this is what the illnesses represent as well. See, there we are. We're poisoning ourselves because we're poisoning our environment. So it's reflecting in us. Massive, the highest illnesses you've ever seen, especially in the countries that are doing the most poisoning, that have the highest poison in their, have a look at your health, have a look at other countries. It's a big difference. And then you understand as well why we just have a look, you will see it, understand it, okay? And then always understand, that's why the Trinity was there, because there's a balance. We've got to find the balance, so the good, bad, balance, male, female, balance in between. There's an in between. All right, same with you. And if you're in balance, the mind, body, and spirit, when you've done it, you will feel fine. See, you've got to come back in balance with the mind, because that's good. You've got to use it as well. With the body, well, it helps you. With everything around you, that's the material, and spirit, source. So just understand fear, any negative thoughts, negative feelings, what you call negative feelings, hurt, fear, upset, anger, anxiety, are only signals. They're only acting as a communication for you. Don't fear them. Don't get upset. Just say, oh, why am I upset? Not I'm upset. Why do I feel sadness? Why do I feel grief? Why do I feel fear? Let me look at it. And analyze it. Look at the deepest. Why are you frightened? Why would you be scared? What are you frightened of happening? But ask for help. Okay. Clarity. A lot of people, if you keep thinking of confusion, you will be. Ask for clarity. Just know you're going to get it. Before you go to sleep, wake up. You can say that affirmations. You can sit there and say, tomorrow I'm going to wake up with perfect clarity and vision. You can download this. All that is access to you. If you just believe it, it's also belief. Choice, belief. Seek and you shall find. What did he say? They have a little doubt as a mustard seed, you'll move a mountain. Belief, no doubt. Clarity. I have perfect clarity. I have perfect vision. So, now you understand. Now you can see what's going on out there, and none of it's in balance. And this is why you are not feeling in balance, and why you're feeling upset and confused, and humans are, because they know it's not in balance. Intuitively, innately, everybody knows there's not a balance out there. One side is blame, and we're going to execute them, and we're going to do that, and manipulating people by, and they did this and they did that. That's the whole. And the other one is trying to tell you, in their fear, they're trying to control everything. They understand they're going to destroy the planet, but they're trying to control. So none of this is in balance. Fear, control. What happens? Things get more out of control, and they're seeing it happening. So exactly what you try, you see it just gets worse. Okay. Balance. Our politicians are out of balance. Are in relationships, because why? Our relationships with each other, humanity, people, countries, are out of balance. It's all it's trying to show us. Love, peace, unity. See, and that's what the Trinity means. I found it was very interesting, it came to me, because okay, dark, light, there's a balance between. People think light, light, light. No, there is a balance. Source, actual, what you want to see is clear light. It's not bright white light. Balance, okay? When you find balance, guess what? That's what the circle represents. The life, everything, source, past, present, future, energy, your Taurus field, is harmony. There is balance. When you find the Holy Trinity, there's harmony and balance. Unity, round, united, balance, harmony. Humanity was on the path of unity, but then people didn't like that path. It didn't really, because it took away power from some, so they decided to break up. This is why we formed the United Nations, stop fighting in countries, because there's no countries, there's no borders. Who are you going to fight? Yourself. But then people just, went a little bit sidetracked, and this is why we are where we are now, because we decided to pull away from unity and as I say. But it's also, anyway, there we are. So we've overlapped with these timelines, and this is what we are seeing playing out. So that's why you're seeing there's positive and negative playing out, and there's all this confusion. You think there's so many timelines, people, different frequencies, but yes, there are. You've got all these worlds overlapping. But they're going to start splitting. You need to be very conscious that your actions are the same, that your thoughts, words, actions, you know what I mean? You are in alignment with the frequency, vibration, and planet or timeline, the paradise on earth you want, which you call heaven on earth, you want to be on. Not the Tartaria version, not the nuclear version, not the non-humanic version, not, you know what I mean? So, as what you hold within, do you hold love, peace, unity, harmony, no judgment? Do you hold the higher position, non-judgment? Because every one of them has a right to choose that. And these are timelines that are playing out. You can go to the past, present, and future if you want, where you call what you think are your past lives. They're not just different parallel realities. You're tapping into many other versions of, say, yourself or your higher self. Source is playing out all kinds of things. Humans, non-humans, everything is playing out. But these are, so understand what you think, feel. Okay. Look at what you feel. Look at what you react to. Look at what draws your attention. What are you resonating with? These are clues. Okay. Now you understand to recognize the balance. Find the balance, people, in everything. All right? Then you can find it in yourself too. Okay. Bring it back. Bring it back. Okay. Do not blame them. Let them choose free will, because you deny yourself free will. You're sticking yourself to their timeline. Free will. They have a choice to choose those timelines, even if we think we know it's like, oh, I don't want that, just because you are freaking out because you sure as hell don't want it. But don't deny them that path. And the more you resist, it will go. See, we'll separate those timelines much faster. But the more you try and resist, force, intimidate, stop, is the same thing as control. You're on their timeline. You're trying to tell people, don't do that, that's going to happen to you, it's control. Same thing, you're trying to control and force or manipulate or whatever. This is why nothing resonates and people are out of balance, because it is not in balance. See? There we are. Love. All right. All of these things are not. All right. Acceptance, love, peace, harmony, balance. Choose the middle point, which is the holy. That's why it's called the Holy Trinity. Because that is the divine's path. There is no judgment in the middle. No light, no dark, no good, no bad, not male, not female, not hate, not blame, not the good, not, all of that, whatever. Balance, nature, balance, the Trinity. It's in harmony with all. That's why it's called holy, because when you are in harmony with all, you have balance, mind, body, spirit as well. Your mind, your body, your spirit's in balance. See? There we are. That's what you want to find. Find that balance within you. That means your thoughts, your beliefs must be in balance with the divine. It will reflect, if it's not with your body as well, it will reflect with illness, it will reflect with all kinds of things if you're not in balance within yourself. Okay, find that balance between the mind, body, and spirit. And we will see it outside too. But we have to watch and understand you are watching parallel realities. So when you are seeing what's going on outside, people are choosing and drawing to them things that are playing out as well. So just see it from a higher perspective. Take it from the ego's perspective. Very easily do your shadow work, because when you've done your own mind, body, spirit, when you're in balance, you understand it and you can be the observer. It's all within. Everything has always been about yourself. Everything outside is a reflection. Whatever upsets you, triggers you, worries you, freaks you out, is to show you. It's a mirror trying to say to you, you need to look at that. Why do you feel like that? Where does that belief come from? Where does that feeling come from? Where does that fear come from? Face, that's it. It's only misunderstanding. There we are. Okay. Do your inner work. Ask, seek, ask for help, ask for clarity, ask for divine guidance. It will be given if you really mean it. Okay. Seek that. Even before you go to bed tonight, you can set that intention and you can ask them to very clearly, if there's something you, especially something you really, if your intentions are pure intent, there to show you very clearly without doubt. There we are. Okay. What it is you need to say will give you the clarity. I've made enough affirmations, told people ask. Ask for the wisdom, clarity, and discernment. That helps a lot. I've made lots of videos about it. Tons and tons and tons on my YouTube, starting from the first ones. That's the lower astrals when you first wake up. You hit all the light and ooh, and then you start, once you realize, no, okay, everything's okay, and there's eternal, and there's angels, and there's this, and then you will give a bit of time, and then you will start getting your shadow coming up, and then you'll start seeing what you think you're bumping into nasties in the unseen. They're not anyway, it's a reflection of what you're holding inside you. Because nothing will come into your experience if you're not in the same frequency and vibration as it. You're invisible to anything it's not, you know what I mean? If you hold no hate, judgment, blame, anger, fear in you, that it cannot come to you, see? You won't experience it in your existence, in your life, in your dream, or anything. All right, lovely people. I love you all, and understand. I mean, it upset me yesterday because I was seeing this, and I could see. I thought, oopsie, okay, humanity's going to experience some unpleasant planetary things because they're not paying attention. That they are harming the planet at the moment, and either one's trying to control, and the one's trying to it doesn't matter, it's fine or whatever. There's all kinds of things, and the negative energy and fear and hate and projection that's going on out there. So anyway, let's see. Okay. I understand. We've got to come back ourselves to balance. And then we will see it outside. All right. So the more you can stay in neutrality, and like me, when I saw this, I got upset yesterday, but that was my lesson. I was saying, wow, I saw the collective had dropped down into more negativity, and I could see some of these natural things were going to play out on the planet because of that. And I was like, Atlantis drew their own destruction. The more negative you are and you believe and see things, how you see things, is what you will experience. So I was thinking, okay, I tried to warn people. And I was upset because I didn't want to see suffering. I didn't want to see anybody suffer and things. But it's also unconditional love. They have free will. Their souls have chosen some of these timelines because they actually exist. We know that. Drop into the book. They have chosen those timelines to experience it. So, it's like the same thing. We're trying to control free will. We have to love them unconditionally enough to let them make a choice that we don't want to see. And it's not our pain and suffering to take on. Now, I had taken on enough the collective, so it wasn't my energy to take on. Because I'm denying them free will then, you see. So you have to love them, and even if they are choosing something that you would consider as, wow, that's not pleasant. Atlantis did it. Terrible destruction they suffered. Wow, really nasty ending. So the same thing, all right. We have to let go of that. It's not our energy to take on. Each individual soul, lesson, source has a choice. And it is up to them. It is not your responsibility, not your energy, not your problem to take on. Or we can guide. This is what the purpose of this is, to bring clarity. We can seed, we can advise, we can help, we can do all of this, we can share. But the decision is still up to them. And some will refuse to see their own darkness. It's easy, you see. Oh no, it's somebody else. They're bad guys. Yeah. They don't want to face their own shadows. They don't hear. So there we are, okay. So I had to let that go. I was like very upset. I was thinking, these people, I'm like, I was like, oh, I don't want to see this, because I didn't want to see any negative obviously happen to anybody. And I was watching the seismic activity, and I'm thinking, ooh, some of this is going to play out. Some I managed to avoid, because we jumped into higher timelines, but now they kind of drop down again. And some, if they don't, I think, anyway, will play out. And I don't want to, I'm going to have to witness it. Well, I don't have to watch it. I don't have to go and switch on the news and watch any of this. Yeah, but, well, it is. But you also got to understand, collectively, they've chosen this. They're holding that energy. Nothing happens without a reason. Nothing. We know that, okay? Lessons, right? And no one actually suffers. There's no such thing as death anyway. All right. So I had to let go because it wasn't mine to take on. All right. So I released a choice, released all collective suffering. There we are. Okay. And because I have to love them and let them go on those paths, even if I, and it's not my responsibility, it's not my pain, not my fear, not my suffering to take on. It's absolute free will. Choice. Okay. There we are. If you know who we are, you know we're eternal anyway. And you don't feel, you don't feel when you die, you don't feel any pain actually, because your consciousness actually sees it from above. You're like an observer watching it. And ask anyone to experience it slowly. It's like time slows down and you see everything. So you don't actually. I've been there and come back. I can tell you. All right. All right. And many people will tell you if you listen to some stories. All right. You're very, very, very welcome. Yeah, you mustn't take on the collective, okay? You can, because you're also then resonating that frequency. It's not yours to take on that suffering and fear. People are not seeing it. Some people will have to come around many more times to work out this. They came here to overcome. When you come into Earth, you came here to transmute. It was supposed to be to transmute the darkness into light, to transcend it. And many have come, they remember, from many planets where they had many wars and fighting, and they came here supposed to overcome that, supposed to rise above it. The aim was, when they came here, to transcend it and rise above it. But some just haven't seemed to work that out of their system, and they just keep, and some are, hey, maybe it's just they're just not seeing there's a pattern in their soul's lineage, let's say, right? Which they're calling past lives or something else, right? Not actually all happening at once, but many oversouls. So that oversoul has got lots of wars in their lineage or their line. Why? Because if they are seeing that as an astral, it's relevant to them. So if you're seeing a past life or something, it's irrelevant to this life now. It's trying to show you something. So if you're seeing many galactic wars, this war, whatever you're going through, it's showing you have this in you. And you keep repeating it. So a lot of souls haven't learned from other planets. They wiped off other planets, and they've come here to transcend that, the darker light, to transcend it, to find the Trinity, the higher path, the neutrality, the balance. It's clear light, not white light, bright light, or dark. The balance is the clear. They haven't found, so they're just gonna, where we are. They're gonna go on another timeline and do the same here on another show. Wow. All right. There's still this hate, blame. It's a cycle, and you would think we've done Earth war. Oh, good, bad, fighting each other, and how many wars? World wars, 2. In the human consciousness, as an example, and people still want to do it. I'm like, yeah, wow, I go. Don't blame your governments, don't blame your countries, because they cannot go to war with who? How many soldiers would they have, people? Your parliament aren't going to march out there and go and try and fight. Not a chance. They go into bunkers. You volunteer. There would be no war if there was no army to fight. People take money or whatever to go and fight for their politicians or their, you understand, or so-called piece of material. That's a consciousness. It's a form of, it is a consciousness. It's a consciousness. War has its own frequency vibration, that whole thing. It is a consciousness. So people say, oh, my country, blame the country. The country is made up with people. How can you go to war if you've got no fighters? If people got rid of their own thing and got this out of their consciousness, didn't have that whole, whatever, division, hate, whatever, all these things, you would have no war. You would not have an army. And as you know, a lot of our galactic friends have long transcended that into much higher. They know, and there's no such thing as any of this. Anyone trying to control anybody, any military, anything, any of that. All right. It's consciousness. So stop blaming your governments. How big is your military? Who's fighting for them? You see? For what? It's a consciousness. It's a level of consciousness and a belief. That's all. There we are. All right, lovely people. It's experience. Love you guys. I'm going to go now. I'll see you soon. I hope that helped. You're very welcome. But it's choice is the energy. It's because people are not seeing it. So many people are awake because it's in your face. They're following the news, but they don't understand what it's trying to show them. And then you won't feel or get upset if you see it as a lesson. Everything is trying to show you something. And then you say, oh, that's easy. It's balance. Okay. And obviously you're upset because you're not seeing it represented in your governments or anybody because there's no balance. The one is blaming the other one's trying to, one's coming from fear, one's coming from all kinds of things. It's just people. And people are easy to blame the governments. It's the people. Who are going to war? Soldiers. Who are the soldiers? The people, the population. You see, who votes for them? The people, the population. Do you understand? If we stop looking outside, things will be a lot clearer. And then now you see it. So everything that upsets you, everything that makes you upset, fearful, angry, now you understand why. So when you feel fear, you know that you are very out of alignment with the divine. That's a sign that you really cut off from the divine. But then you got to understand why you cut off, because then you got to understand what am I thinking and believing is not true then. It's not in alignment with your true, who you actually are. You wouldn't have fear if you knew you were. You see, that's all they are. They're just signals for us. Okay, we got to face our fears, and and when you dig down, you realize where they come from. Some of them. I mean, I'm doing my work. We're all doing our work. I've got things I still one like yesterday. The collective thing wasn't mine, but I had something. All kinds of stuff we've taken on. You see, because we took on the human identity, this human story, and I'm a whatever in life. So you've got all that baggage. All right, dig in. But now don't fall in. Now you understand why there's all this going on outside, this identity crisis, which is people are not seeing that at all, and they're just getting angry and projecting and whatever. They haven't got the imbalance between their masculine and feminine is not in balance either. So there's an imbalance in ourselves. It's reflected outside as well. Okay. There we are. Everything is a reflection. Love you. Okay, guys. Bye. We're going to switch off. I don't even remember how to do it anymore. I haven't been on live for a while. Bye, guys.